Here's a quick recap of the Tuesday, September 5th City Council meeting. The preliminary tax levy for 2024 has been set. On Tuesday night, the City Council set the levy for next year at $35.5 million, which is a 6.8% increase over this year's levy. There's no change to personnel planned in 2024. The budget includes the remaining funding for the new water tower off Foley and Coon Rapids Boulevard. $485,000 is included to cover half the cost of replacing the lighting at the soccer complex, which is 30 years old. Also, $300,000 is earmarked for improvements at Al Flynn Park. You can find more on the proposed budget by going to coonrapidsmn.gov/budget. The city has begun an exploratory process to research the benefits and challenges of an organized waste hauling system. On Tuesday night, the City Council voted to begin the process, which could take up to 9 months to complete. The next step is a meet and confer session with city officials and haulers in late September. Under the current system, residents choose from a list of approved haulers. An organized system, which could be done in several different ways, is managed by the city.
We're just getting information. There's definitely not a majority in this council that's driving for organized hauling. We appreciate free market. We just need more information.
To learn more about the different options and timeline, go to coonrapidsmn.gov/organized hauling. There's also an online form residents can fill out to provide feedback to city leaders. Following state legalization, the council has adopted a new ordinance regulating the use of cannabis by adults in public places. Cannabis use will only be allowed at private residences and on private property not generally accessible to the public. The only exception would be for establishments or events licensed to permit on-site consumption. Violating the ordinance is a petty misdemeanor. A new public charter school is coming to Coon Rapids. This week, the City Council granted use flexibility to allow Innovation Science and Technology to operate in the strip mall adjacent to Boulevard Bar and Grill. They hope to open in the next few months. The school, most recently located in Brooklyn Park, serves about 80 students in pre-K through 7th grade.
The system itself was outdated and was just in need of replacement.
The new school year is ushering in some changes for both pedestrians and drivers on Northdale Boulevard near Coon Rapids High School. The main crosswalk has been moved further to the east to better align with the school entrance as well as the athletic stadium across the street.
Yellow lights are flashing. Yellow lights are flashing.
With the push of a button, pedestrians activate new signs with flashing lights to alert drivers they are crossing the road.
Pedestrians will still need to watch traffic and cross at a safe time when the vehicles come to a stop.
With safety top of mind, the new crosswalk is also shorter than the previous crosswalk.
The curb bump outs reduce the width of the crossing across Northdale Boulevard, so that should reduce the amount of time that pedestrians are actually on the road.
There are also now dynamic speed display signs in both directions on Northdale Boulevard. A reduced speed will be in effect in the school zone during starting and dismissal times. A Safe Routes to School grant from the state made the project possible.
We're hoping to draw the motorist's attention better to the fact when pedestrians are actually crossing, and just make it a safer place for both pedestrians and vehicles.
Hi everyone, I'm Corey McIntyre, new superintendent of Anoka Hennepin Schools.
In June, District 11 introduced Corey McIntyre to families in the Anoka Hennepin Schools. He's a familiar face to many. Before he became the superintendent of Osseo area schools 4 years ago, he had served as Anoka Hennepin's assistant superintendent from 2016 to 2019.
So to come in and be able to hit the ground running and really get to work on the things we need to move forward is super helpful.
This summer, McIntyre visited a number of schools in the district. He met with staff and students and saw lots of changes as a result of the 2017 bond referendum.
It's really fun to see the end product of that commitment from our taxpayers back at that point in time, and now to see how much more improved this is and the impact that has on learning and just the overall culture of the school for our staff and for our families too.
Last week, the Minnesota Department of Education released its latest accountability report. Scores in the Anoka-Hennepin schools were down by more than 10% since 2019 in the number of students who met the standards for math, reading, and science.
I think we're still seeing the impact of COVID in our results, and I'm hoping that we're turning the corner on that now.
Happy birthday, have a happy day, hey!
Co-workers at the Educational Service Center in Anoka celebrated McIntyre's recent birthday, and like a team, they are excited to head back into the classroom for a new school year.
It's about relationships, and as I've come back, I'm doubling down on the power of those relationships.
The Coon Rapids Love My Pet Fair is back again this year with a few new things planned for pet owners and their four-legged friends. The pet fair takes place on Saturday, September 16th from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at Riverview Park. The Teddy Bear Band will perform at 10:30 a.m. At 11:30, there's a canine demo with Officer Brian Sternquist and Canine Taz. At 12:30 p.m., Rocky's Possum Pet Walk will take place. At 1 p.m., it's the Best Dressed Pet Contest, and at 1:15 p.m., the winners of the Chalk Art Contest will be announced. Dozens of vendors will also be on hand showcasing their products and services. Well-behaved pets on a leash are invited to the pet fair, which is held rain or shine.
Duty and honor are what veterans uphold for us to live in a free country.
Ready! Hey! Fire!
It comes at a cost, where some have given the ultimate sacrifice. Meanwhile, other veterans face a daily struggle.
Every few minutes, a veteran commits suicide around the clock, 24 hours a day, every day.
Veteran Brian Burke, along with hundreds of other vets and civilians alike, came out to a fundraising event for Operation Zero Minnesota. Their mission, to get the number of veterans who commit suicide down to zero.
Well, what Operation Zero Veterans Attempt Suicide is a ground roots effort to be able to get in contact with vets anytime, day or night, and get them care anytime, day or night, free of charge.
We've got all kinds of fun stuff. We've got the food trucks, of course, and my sweet corn stand.
Of the money raised at the event, 100% of the proceeds go to the vets.
This t-shirt, for sure, is almost out of stock.
I'm here to support the troops like everybody else for the most part, and the music ain't bad.
Operation Zero's message to veterans out there who may be struggling is to never quit on life.
And we're not going to stop until it stops.
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental illness and need help, there's someone available 24/7. Just call or text 988 and you'll connect to a mental health professional.
A large gathering of people recently celebrated the completion of one of the newest apartment buildings in town.
We saw that there was a need for the product.
Astor, a 192-unit market-rate apartment building, is the third phase of the Riverdale Station redevelopment project done by Sherman Associates. It opened this past spring and is already more than 50% leased.
It has met and exceeded every single one of them, both in terms of the quality and the beauty of the building, as well as the market reception to the product. We've had a lot of anecdotes from a variety of the community talking about how spacious our floor plans are and how many more amenities this building has than some of the comparable products that are built in the area.
Nova, a 71-unit mixed-income building, was the first to open on the site in 2019. Lyra, a 180-unit market-rate building, followed in 2020. The 15-acre site was originally owned by Anoka County.
And the city felt it was really a priority to work with the county to get a good development project here, obviously with the park and ride, right next to, one of the largest regional shopping centers in the metro area, certainly in the North Metro. It was important to get a high quality project in place.
Over the last 9 years, we have worked closely with the city of Coon Rapids to lay out the vision for the 15 acres, of which now we've developed about 80% of that land into 443 homes.
A fourth and final phase is in the early planning stages. It would include 70 to 80 units of affordable senior housing, but construction on that phase is still another 2 to 3 years away.
The demand for housing in this location in Coon Rapids is strong.
We're looking to have 180 drivers on staff. We have about 172 now.
Bus service companies like Kotke's are busy training new drivers for the coming school year.
We're looking for AM and PM route drivers, and we're also looking for those drivers to fill in for activities and sporting events and field trips and things like that.
Kotke's serves the Anoka-Hennepin School District, which is the state's largest. The pay for new bus drivers went up by $2 an hour over last year to $24 an hour this year.
And there's also hiring bonuses up to $3,500. Depending on if you're not licensed, it's $2,500. If you're fully licensed with your CDL, your school bus, and your passenger endorsement, it's a $3,500 hiring bonus. And then we also offer a $1,500 retention bonus.
Kotke's also has a need for minivan drivers to drive one of their brand new Chrysler minivans.
And those drivers don't need a special license. It's just a regular Class D. They do some training and a driving eval here. And it's a 7-passenger minivan with potentially 1 to 4 students aboard. And that starting pay is $19 an hour with a $1,500 sign-on bonus.
Plus, Kotke's say they value their drivers beyond the paycheck.
We do something every month to show our appreciation of our drivers.
There's a new restaurant in town to check out the next time you go to the Riverdale Village area. This past spring, Esmeralda's Mexican restaurant opened its doors to many excited customers.
We got a lot of feedback, a lot of people like it,
The family-owned restaurant, one of 7 that Luis Ortiz operates in Minnesota, offers authentic Mexican food along with a full bar.
We have a little bit for everyone. We have wings, we have hamburgers, that if you don't like Mexican food, you can come over and can get chicken wings and stuff like that.
Ortiz grew up in Mexico and moved to Minnesota at the age of 17. He got his start in the restaurant business in Thief River Falls.
I was we call it the chip boy, like the person that brings the chips. And then I became a server. And then I learned the back of the house, the kitchen. I learned how to cook. And I became a manager right after that.
Ortiz purchased the Northern Minnesota restaurant 8 years ago and ran it for 5 years before moving to the Twin Cities with his family and opening up 6 more restaurants. It's a family affair, with his wife taking care of all the paperwork from the business and his siblings helping manage other locations.
I don't know, I just don't see myself doing any another job other than the Mexican restaurant.
And hard-sided dumpsters are allowed in Coon Rapids. However, without an active building permit, they can only remain on site for 1 month. Just remember to place them on private property and not in the street. For more information on this and other city codes, log on to coonrapidsmn.gov.